Hello and a very warm welcome to Zoho Desk webinars. Thank you for joining us today. Today's session is all about selling faster, better, and more with Zoho Desk and Zoho CRM. I hope you're excited. I sure am. I'm Pavitra, your host for the day. Before we begin, here's our Twitter handle and our hashtag. You can use them to post your questions and feedback during the session. Let's get started then with this question. What do salespeople do? Basically, sell? That's the objective of every salesperson, isn't it? But I want you all to look at the other side of it, from the customer's perspective. And you realize that for them, it's a purchase decision, basically, a buy. Now, except for impulse buying, the customer usually gets in touch with the company to make a purchase. So, where and how do these interactions happen? Through the company's website, a phone call with a customer service rep, at the physical store of the company, or maybe even through social media channels. All of these instances are important touchpoints of an organization. And the outcome at each of these touchpoints rests upon one thing: customer experience or CX. And CX spans the entire life cycle of a customer. Delivering good customer experience is the job of all the customer facing teams, including sales and support. So, obviously, when more than one team has to work together, bottlenecks crop up. This could be that maybe you don't have complete information of the prospect, or maybe you spend time pursuing unqualified prospects, or you don't communicate fast enough with them, or maybe you're just not able to identify cross sell or upsell opportunities. So, if you're a sales executive or a sales manager, or if you belong to a customer facing team, then you've probably faced at least one of these issues. Now, we saw that customer interactions span the entire life cycle of the customer. What actually happens in this life cycle? Broadly, from an organization standpoint, there are three stages. Acquisition, that deals with all the activities you do to acquire customers. Engagement, where you keep your current customer base and your prospects engaged with your brand or products or services. And retention, where you focus on making sure that your current customer base remains intact by rewarding loyal customers and taking their feedback. Alright, now with these stages in mind, let's sketch out a simple customer story right from the time he's identified as a lead and see how this journey pans out. So, say the first thing that your company does is sending out a campaign to win customers from a given target audience, an email campaign. A few people are hooked on to what you have to offer based on the content of your campaign. Great. So, what's next? You have an individual or a company that's really interested in buying your product. That's a warm lead. You do your due diligence and they seem pretty genuine. So you now qualify the lead as an opportunity. Basically, you see potential for a deal here. Awesome, right? Now let's assume that they need a demo of your product to know more about what they're buying. So you loop in your customer service team to help with the demo. And once the demo is done, you follow up with them. Things seem to be working really well, and before you know it, you have a deal in your hands. Isn't that awesome? It would be if that's how things really happened. In reality, we know how hard it can be to close a deal. Often you end up with a cold lead despite all the effort you put in. So, what exactly could have gone wrong? Did something go amiss on the sales side or on the support side or on both sides? Well, sales and support are both difficult jobs as it is, and getting these two teams to work together is even more difficult. But the core problem is that both the teams do not have the right context. Specifically, there are two problems that companies have to deal with when sales and support teams have to work together. The first one is that not much information flows between the teams. Secondly, whatever information does flow between the teams gets delayed. Now let's take the first problem. Not much information flows between the teams, which means that the support team doesn't have the clarity that the sales team does to deliver the perfect demo to the customer. And if support gets to know a little more about the prospect during the demo, that doesn't go back to sales either. Now, on to the second problem. Whatever information does flow between the sales and the support teams gets delayed. Just imagine that a support agent gets to know that he needs to give an important demo in an hour's time. That's what delayed data flow between the two teams can do. So the challenges are many, but what exactly is the solution? The answer is pretty simple. You just bring your sales and your support teams onto a single platform. And that is exactly why we've integrated Zoho CRM and Zoho Desk, so that data flows between the two teams in real time. Now let me take an example to illustrate how the integration is going to help you. I'm going to take this company called Zilker that sells Z pads, Z phones, and Z watches. Zilker uses Zoho CRM for its Salesforce automation and Zoho Desk for its customer service. And on the customer side, we have Amy Morse, who runs a chain of self service restaurants called Amy's Food Factory. Let's trace the journey of Amy's company from a lead to a customer across the three stages we discussed earlier: acquisition, engagement, and retention. Let's begin with the acquisition stage. Zilker runs an ad for its much touted range of Z pads on LinkedIn. And this ad catches Amy's eyes, who goes ahead and clicks on it. This lands her on the Z pads page. She goes through this page, likes the features of the Z pad, and feels that they're going to be a great fit for her business. Being a self service restaurant chain, her customers would usually drop into her outlets and place orders on the self service kiosks. They would then pick up their orders from the counter when their names are called out. Amy wants to know if she can use the Z pads in place of the kiosks that have a large form factor and cost her a lot of money to maintain. So Amy fills up the form with her details and submits it. What happens now? There are two automated actions that take place. One is that Amy's details get captured in Zoho CRM. And the second action is that an automated email goes out to her with a link to sign up for a personalized demo. Let's take the first one. You might be aware of Zoho CRM's web to lead form that captures details from an online form and converts that into a lead. Zilker uses this feature to convert all the requests that they receive for product information into leads. Let's see how this is going to be handled at their end. We're on the leads module in Zoho CRM, and Amy Morse's lead record sits right there. Open this up and you have all the details from the form available here. You can see that the lead has been assigned to Zilker's sales manager Saul Davidson through Zoho CRM's automatic lead assignment feature. And for the second automated action, Amy receives an email from Zilker with a link to a demo page. Clicking on this will take Amy to a page where she can key in the details of her requirements. This will help Zilker provide a personalized demo. Amy fills in the form and submits it, and these details go out to the support team as a ticket. Over to Zoho Desk then. What you see here is the home screen of Zoho Desk. Let me give you a tour of this screen. On the right side, you have the list of tickets that customer service agents can pick up and answer. To the left, you have a list of built-in views that you can use to basically filter tickets according to certain criteria. And right at the top, you can see all the modules in Zoho Desk. Amy's request is right here, and it looks like it's already been assigned to the support agent, Don Evans, through ticket assignment rules. Don is the agent who handles evaluation assistance for Zilker's prospects and customers. So it's his job to handle demos. Now, how does a support agent know whether this ticket is from a prospect or a customer? Maybe he can just open up the ticket and find out by going through the conversation. That would work for one ticket, but imagine if this agent had to do that for 1,000 tickets every week. Doesn't seem like a scalable option to me, which is why we built a feature called the work modes, which sorts tickets for agents. There are 4 different work modes: the status mode, the handshake mode, the countdown mode, and the priority mode. And each one will sort tickets according to a certain criteria. Let's now go to the handshake mode. Alright, so this is the first feature I want to showcase as part of the Zoho CRM Zoho Desk integration. The handshake mode sorts tickets according to the type of requester who raised the ticket. So you have tickets from leads here, tickets from your potentials here, and tickets from your existing customers here. This way, Don Evans needn't spend time identifying who the ticket is from. He knows right away that this demo request came from a lead. And this context is crucial because the way that you treat a long-standing customer is definitely different from the way that you treat a prospect or a lead, right? So Don has some context even before getting into the ticket. But that's not all. The agent can also see which channel the ticket came in from, what it is about, who raised the ticket, the status of the ticket, and the number of threads in the ticket. All of this at a single glance. That is indeed a lot of context before he can even open up the ticket. Now let's move on to see how this agent handles the ticket. Clicking on the ticket opens up the unified ticket screen, which has the ticket conversations to the right and ticket properties to the left. The agent goes through the conversation and understands that Amy needs a demo. But he definitely needs a little more context about this prospect before he can give a demo. For that, he can head to this option here to the left called CRM Info, denoted by the CRM icon here. Clicking on this icon pulls up the customer's information from Zoho CRM right into Zoho Desk. This is another integration-specific feature. He can look up the customer's details like their whereabouts and the salesperson who owns this contact. He can also look at the potentials that the salesperson created for this contact, Amy Morse, by clicking on this Potentials tab. And not just that, he would also be able to read through the description that the salesperson entered while creating this lead. So Don reads through the notes. He can also check if the sales team has lined up any activities like calls, meetings, or tasks. This gives him great context to understand where exactly a customer stands in their lifecycle journey. Now that Don has read through the requirements, he can go ahead with the demo. So maybe we could just fast forward the story by a couple of days and hopefully the demo is done by then. And we're back to the ticket. Hey, looks like Amy has replied and she loved the demo. That's great. She's given Zilka's service a good rating. But how does the salesperson get to know about all of this? In Zoho CRM, whenever there's a development with respect to a lead, potential, or a contact, a notification appears in real time for the concerned salesperson in SalesSignals. And that's the third feature I want to touch upon from the integration perspective. At the top right portion of the CRM screen, you'd see the SalesSignals feature. Clicking on this opens up a list of notifications. And there you have it, a notification that says that the lead has provided a happiness rating. You can click on it to view the details. In this manner, the salesperson understands that the demo has been completed. The SalesSignals feature will also show notifications when tickets get escalated, become overdue, when a customer responds, or when someone comments privately within the ticket. And this is not just for existing tickets. Notifications also appear when there's a new ticket from a lead, contact, potential customer, or a customer. So moving on, the salesperson Saul Davidson can actually go ahead and do a follow-up with the lead. Now, I want to take a moment from our example here to point something out to you. Before the sales representative can go ahead and talk to the lead, he knows that she has demonstrated intent for purchasing Zilka's products. She got in touch with Zilka for more information, she filled out her requirements in the online form, and she sat through a demo of the product. Which means that the salesperson can actually go ahead and convert this lead into a potential. And that's the first benefit of this integration that I want to highlight. You can sell better. In other words, you'd be able to spend your time doing productive prospecting. And this is no small benefit because according to a sales statistic, around 50% of sales time is wasted on unproductive prospecting. And that's a big percentage and leaves a lot of scope for improvement. That's the point we're addressing through this integration, so you can sell better. Getting on with the story now and back to Saul. He clicks on the convert button here. He fills in details such as the amount, closing date, stage of closure, and the contact role. And there you go. The lead is now a potential in Zoho CRM. The salesperson can now follow up with the contact. And what if she wants a little more information that needs the support team's help? Well, there's a quick way for him to collaborate with the support team for such requirements. Within the potentials or the deals module, the salesperson can scroll down to this section, which is called a related list. And this is the fourth integration feature we're coming across in this session. Now, you might have used quite a few related lists in Zoho CRM, but the one that we're interested in is this one, a related list for Zoho Desk. And no worries if you haven't used a related list, because we're going to take a look at how it works. Basically, you have all the ticket details pulled in from Zoho Desk and displayed here so that the salesperson knows exactly how many tickets the lead or a contact has raised, which channel the ticket came in from, what each ticket dealt with, the number of threads in each ticket, the current status of the ticket, the priority assigned, the agent to whom this ticket has been assigned to, and the due date of the ticket. Wow, that's a lot of details. Now, just above this list of tickets, Zoho CRM also displays a neat summary of stats such as the total number of tickets, the number of overdue tickets, average response time, average resolution time, and the customer happiness ratings. And if Saul wants to read through the ticket conversation, He can just click on a ticket and this opens up the conversation right within Zoho CRM. And that's not all. The salesperson can actually comment within this ticket by clicking on this button here and tagging the support representative. So Saul looks at who's worked on this ticket and tags the support rep Don Evans. And Don would get a notification immediately alerting him about the sales team's requirements. Now let's fast track the story a little bit. Let's say that the support team gets back with the information that the contact asked for, and Amy is pretty convinced about Zilker's product and goes ahead with a bulk purchase. So Saul has a deal in his hands, and Amy is now a customer. Saul can now change the status to closed won. Great. The salesperson sure did save a lot of time in winning this deal as a result of the context that both the sales and support teams had at the right time. Now just imagine scaling this across the entire sales team for maybe 1,000 customers. That seems like a big time saver. So the end benefit is that you can sell faster. So your salespeople can now close more deals. And that is the second benefit of integrating Zoho CRM and Zoho Desk. Now let's move ahead in the customer's lifecycle journey and see what happens in the engagement phase. Let's fast forward the story by a couple of months maybe. So Amy's chain of restaurants have been using the Z-Pads for a while now. And it looks like they've been pretty happy with the overall experience so far. But of late, there's a problem that's cropped up. Across their outlets, the Z-Pads don't seem to pick up the Wi-Fi sometimes. It seems like a minor problem, but it's actually holding up the queue and causing customers to wait for their orders. So Amy writes an email to the support team explaining the problem that they're facing at Amy's food factory. And this lands as a ticket in Zoho Desk. This time though, the ticket gets assigned to another agent, Jo Young, and she troubleshoots problems related to the Z-Pad product. Despite the fact that this is another agent who was not part of the previous interactions with Amy, Zoho Desk has features that let her get the right context almost immediately. She first goes to the Handshake Mode and sees that the ticket is in the customers column. So she knows that this is the ticket from an existing customer. She quickly opens it up and goes through the conversation. Before she can drop a reply, the first thing she needs is context on whether this customer has raised tickets in the past. If yes, then how their experience has been with the company's service. For that, Jo goes to the timeline option here at the left side of the interface. This feature shows the list of all the tickets that Amy has raised in the past. And sure enough, we have the ticket from her right here. Clicking on this opens up the conversation on the right side immediately. Pretty neat, isn't it? So Jo goes to the past conversations and she can use this context to draft her reply accordingly. If Amy wasn't happy, then she can provide a gift card and try to win her back. In this case though, things appear to have been pretty smooth until now. So she goes ahead and drafts a reply to Amy. For drafting replies quickly, Zoho Desk has a productivity feature called Suggested Articles. When the agent clicks on this reply button, it immediately pulls up a list of articles on the left side of the interface. This is the Suggested Articles feature that analyzes what the ticket conversation is all about and comes up with a list of articles. The agent can go through this list and pick the relevant article and add it to the reply in a single click. So our agent Jo Young can complete her reply and send it off to the customer. And she needn't even type in complete sentences to do this. She can just type in a few characters and hit tab, and the snippets feature does the rest. Jo can now send the reply to Amy. Now let's say this issue keeps appearing often for different customers, and the agent needs to inform a colleague from the Z-Pad product team about this. She can simply go to the ticket comments and tag the colleague here. So our support agent Jo types in a message here for James and she sends it off. James would get a notification in real time alerting him about this ticket. So collaboration is possible between colleagues right within a ticket. Hey, looks like the customer Amy has replied. Oops, the solution that Jo suggested did not work for her. That's unfortunate. And Amy has rated Zilker's service as bad. Considering that her business is taking a direct hit, she sure would feel unhappy about the delay in sorting this out. At this point, usually, there's no way a salesperson would get to know about this. But with this integration, the salesperson Saul would be able to see this development in SalesSignals. But why is this so important to a business? I'd like to step back from the scenario here and highlight a few points. Engagement can be a hard thing to do. It's important to stay connected not just with your happy customers, but also with your unhappy ones. especially with the unhappy ones. Because according to studies, a dissatisfied customer will tell between 9 to 15 people about their experience. And let's not forget that they might just leave or move to a competitor. So let's move over to the sales side now and see how he handles this. So you have the home screen of Zoho CRM, and there's the SalesSignals notification at the top right corner of the screen. Saul opens it up and sees the bad rating for the ticket. He can click on this and read through the conversation to gather some context. Saul opens up the ticket and tags James from the engineering team, mentioning the importance of resolving this immediately. After all, he did work really hard to win this deal, and if he has to get repeat business from Amy's food factory, he's got to keep them happy. In this way, the salesperson can collaborate with different departments in the company and ensure that the turnaround time is quick, so that Zilka always stays engaged with their customer base. Oh, and we have a reply from James. This is called the team chat, and it lets support agents quickly collaborate with salespeople and folks from other departments. Alright, so it looks like they're fixing the issue in 24 hours. See, that's what I was talking about. After all, Saul was the first person from Zilka's side to talk to the customer, and it's on him to troubleshoot this issue for Amy. He can now get back in touch with her. Saul drops an email to Amy, looping in the support team as well. For this, he pulls up the contact record for Amy in Zoho CRM and heads to the related list for emails. He clicks on the send email option and drafts his email in the pop-up that opens up. And sent. That's exactly what I was talking about. The salesperson steering the engagement with the customer base with the support team's help. Great. Now let's move on to the next phase of the customer lifecycle then, retention. Actually, why just retain your business when you can grow it? The Zoho Desk Zoho CRM integration can help your support team pass on any repeat sale opportunities that they might spot to the sales team immediately. Let's take a scenario now. Let's assume that Amy emails Zilka's support team with an issue pertaining to the Z-Pad's charging cables. The cables are too short and they want to know if Zilka sells lengthier ones. So Amy types in her question and sends it off to Zilka's support team. Well, as we've already seen, this email lands as a ticket on Zilka's side, and it appears in the Handshake Mode's Customers column. This time, it gets assigned to a different agent, Stella Ramirez, who wants to know about the customer before dropping a reply. Of course, at this point, she already knows that this ticket is from an existing customer and not a lead. So Stella opens up the ticket and reads through the conversation. Like we saw in the previous phase, the agent can go to the timeline feature to know about the past tickets that the customer has raised. And when she wants to know a little more about the customer, she can go to the CRM info option that we went through in the acquisition phase. Stella looks up the details of the customer here, like the contact owner and Amy's location. She also looks at the potentials that the salesperson created for this contact by clicking on this Potentials tab. This gives a list of the potentials and the monetary value of each potential, the stage of completion, the closing date, and the owner of the deal. So Stella knows that there was a huge order that Zilka won from Amy's food factory for Z-Pads in the past. She also reads through the notes that the salesperson had entered in Zoho CRM right here in Desk. And of course, she checks if the sales team has lined up any activities like calls, meetings, or tasks. So Stella now has great context about where Amy stands in the customer lifecycle journey. So she goes ahead and drops a reply to the customer using the suggested articles option. She types in a response and sends it off to the customer. But then she senses an opportunity for a repeat sale here. Stella sees that they'd won a large deal in the past from the company. And they've largely been happy with Zilka's customer service, considering that Zilka actually turned around the previous ticket in the engagement phase. Now maybe if Zilka folks were to suggest the wireless charging device to Amy, there's a good chance that she might be interested in purchasing that as well. And since Stella knows that Saul is the owner of this account, she can get in touch with him directly. This is another feature here that helps sales and support teams work together. Just as salespeople can tag support people from the CRM side, support reps too can tag sales folks from the desk side. So she types in a message informing Saul about the cross-selling opportunity. And there you go, a private comment has been posted. This brings us to our next feature of this integration, light agents. Basically, any person who's not part of the customer service team can be added as a light agent in Zoho Desk. So you can have folks from sales, engineering, and design teams added as light agents in Desk. So what's the difference between a normal agent and a light agent? Well, a light agent has permissions to view support data across different modules in Zoho Desk. However, they cannot edit any data. In other words, they can have read and comment permissions, but not edit permissions. And this means that Saul can access Zoho Desk 2 and open up this ticket. When he does that, the support agent will get to know about it immediately through this alert here called the Agent Collision Detection Alert that's going off now. Whenever there's more than one person working on a ticket, Zoho Desk will alert all of them so that they don't end up working on the same ticket at the same time. Now the support rep Stella can have a quick word with the salesperson by initiating a chat by clicking here. This is the same team chat feature that we looked at earlier in Zoho CRM. So Stella informs Saul about this opportunity to pitch wireless charging devices. The sales rep can now convert this customer into a hot lead again and pursue them. So let's fast forward by a couple of months, and Zilka has won another bulk order from Amy's food factory. So effectively, you would be selling more. You're driving repeat sales through this integration. So there you have it. Those are the three main benefits you would derive by integrating Zoho CRM with Zoho Desk. Sell better, sell faster, and sell more. Alright, now let me do a quick recap of all the features we've seen in this integration webinar. The first one is the Handshake Mode in Zoho Desk, which sorts tickets for agents and displays them in columns according to the category of the requester. So you have tickets from leads, potentials, and customers organized separately. And within Zoho Desk, you have CRM info that displays sales information such as customer address, potential, sales notes, and activities in Zoho Desk's ticket interface to the left of the ticket conversation. The next feature that we saw was SalesSignals, which displays real-time notifications to the salesperson for any developments that might happen in a ticket that was raised by a lead or a contact, a potential customer, or an existing one that the salesperson owns. And then there's the ticket list within Zoho CRM, which basically pulls in the list of tickets from Zoho Desk and displays it in Zoho CRM. This helps salespeople read through the ticket conversations or drop comments on them. One more feature we saw was Team Chat, which helps support people collaborate with the sales team members immediately on a chat window. You can also tag salespeople from within Zoho Desk in the comments feature for any collaboration that deals with the ticket. So interactions are housed within that ticket for future reference. And as a continuity to this feature, you have the Light Agents feature in Desk, which basically allows salespeople to access Desk with read-only and commenting permissions. We've reached the end of this webinar. I hope the session was informative and you enjoyed learning about the latest feature we've showcased here in both Zoho CRM and Zoho Desk. So please do go ahead and give Zoho Desk a spin. We offer a trial of the product during which you can test out the features for free. And here's the page for you to sign up for Zoho Desk. And yes, just to spice up the ending, I have a surprise for all of you. If you've been using Zoho CRM, you get Zoho Desk's Enterprise plan, which actually costs $25, for just $20. Yep, you heard it right. Awesome. So if you have any questions, I hope you've tweeted them out with the hashtag ZohoDesk. You can also write to us at support@zohodesk.com and we will get back to you ASAP. Thank you for your time, folks. I'm sure you'll love trying out Zoho Desk. Have a great day.